We should start the class right now. Okay, so we are left with nearly five topics. In the previous classes, we have completed what is a cyber crime and some important definitions and how can we provide security to our information and who are called as cyber criminals and what are the different types of cyber criminals available and what are the classifications of cyber crimes. So up to here, we have completed the concepts. In today's and tomorrow's class, we shall complete these five concepts. These five concepts are very small and easy, where you need to understand what are the acts which are available for cyber crimes, right? So in cyber crime, there are two types of perspectives. First one is legal, and the second one is Indian perspective. So in cyber crimes, there are two types of perspectives called legal perspective and the last one, see here, legal perspectives, and the second one is Indian perspective. So in first today, what we shall see is cyber crime. One second, I'm opening. See here, cyber crime, the legal perspectives. Cyber crime, the legal perspectives. Actually, cyber crime is a we call cyber crime as the biggest challenge, right? So why we call cyber crime as the biggest challenge is, suppose if we take a normal example. See, in order to protect our system, we have been using antivirus program regularly. When a person is going to create an antivirus program, in order to keep our laptop or any of our electronic devices free from viruses, so automatically hacker is creating a program where he can hack the data. అంటే ఎప్పుడైతే మన సిస్టమ్కి వైరస్ రాకూడదు, హ్యాక్ అవ్వకూడదు అని మనం ఏదో ఒక యాంటీవైరస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ డిజైన్ చేస్తున్నామో, ఆ డిజైన్ చేసిన వెంటనే హ్యాకర్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు, మన సిస్టంలో ఉన్న డేటాని ఏదో విధంగా హ్యాక్ చేయడానికి మనం క్రియేట్ చేసిన యాంటీవైరస్కి ఇంకో కొత్త ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నాడు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ బికమింగ్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ ఛాలెంజ్. మనం ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తుంటే దాన్ని ఓవర్టేక్ చేసి ఇంకొక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నాడు. సో హియర్ హ్యాకర్ ఈస్ అన్ ఇంటెలిజెంట్ పర్సన్. Hacker is an intelligent person, where the main person who is creating the antivirus is having an idea such that ఏది చేయకుండా ఉంటే మన సిస్టమ్ ఫ్రీగా ఉంటుంది యాంటీ వైరస్కి అని చెప్పి ఒక యాంటీవైరస్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది. సో హ్యాకర్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు, వీడు ఇది క్రియేట్ చేశాడు కాబట్టి దానికన్నా ఒక స్టెప్ ఫార్వర్డ్ వెళ్ళి దాన్ని ఓవర్కమ్ చేసుకుంటూ మన ఒక వైరస్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాడు. సో వెన్ వీఆర్ కంపేరింగ్ బిట్వీన్ ఏ నార్మల్ పర్సన్ హూ ఇస్ క్రియేటింగ్ an antivirus and a person and an hacker, we can tell that hacker is an intelligent person. So here there are two definitions. Here there are two definitions where, as per the criminal justice according to 1979, and the second one is according to the study. There are two definitions. First one is any illegal act for which knowledge of computer technology is essential for a successful prosecution. See here, it's not an legal act, it's an illegal act where the knowledge of computer technology, that means a person's knowledge of computer technology, when it is going to use for an illegal act, then it is called as a cyber crime. It is called as a computer crime. Then it is called as a computer crime. అంటే మనకున్న నాలెడ్జ్ ఒక పాజిటివ్ పరంగా యూస్ చేసుకుంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as a legal act, right? Suppose the knowledge which we are having on a computer, if we are having a knowledge on a computer technology, and that knowledge when we are going to use for an illegal act, then it comes under a computer crime. మనకున్న నాలెడ్జ్ని ఏదైనా ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్ట్ కింద యూజ్ చేస్తుంటే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as a computer crime. And the second definition is encompasses any illegal act for which knowledge of computer technology is essential for its commit. So here also encompasses in the sense ఏదైనా ఒక ప్రాబ్లం అక్కర్ అవడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి. సపోజ్ ఒక ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్ట్ జరిగింది, ఆ ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్ట్ ఎలా జరిగింది, దానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి, ఆ రీజన్ ఏమై ఉంటుంది, కంప్యూటర్ టెక్నాలజీ. అంటే మనం ఒక కంప్యూటర్ టెక్నాలజీని ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్ట్ కింద యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి దాన్ని సైబర్ క్రైమ్ అంటాం. So both the definitions one and the definitions two relate to same. Meaning will be of same, but the wording, but the framing of the definition and the wordings will be, the placing of the wordings will be different. See in the definition here also we are going to use illegal act. Here also we are talking illegal act. Here also we are using the knowledge of computer technology, and here also the knowledge of computer technology. Okay, so you can learn any of the definition. And the next one is, see, when we think about the cybercrime globally, when we are going to think about the cybercrime globally, there are two problems to be resolved. That means there are some problems which needs to be resolved. See here, the problems can be resolved in two ways. Global cyber computer crimes గురించి ఆలోచించినప్పుడు there are many problems, right? So in order to resolve those problems, here they are mentioning two ways. One is we need to divide the information system into segments. ఒకటే data ఒకటే చోట place చేసే కనుక we need to divide. Suppose if a data has been in one server and if that particular server has been hacked, then our whole data will be available with the hacker. Here, what they are telling is, in order to resolve that particular computer crime over globally, first thing is we need to divide the information system into segments. So when we are going to divide these information systems into a group of segments, then our data will be protected up to some extent. Even if one system is being hacked, some of the data will be hacked by the hacker, not all the data, right? So here the information systems need to be divided into segments. And the second one is to incorporate the legal system into an integrated entity, obliterating through the state boundaries. That means if the information system has been divided into segments, for each segment we need to integrate the legal system. Then we can reduce the problems. So ఈ two ways use చేసుకొని we can resolve the computer crime problems globally. First one is we need to divide into segments, and the second one is after dividing into segments, we need to integrate the legal system to this each segment. ఒక్కొక్క segment కి ఈ legal system అనేది integrate చేస్తే కనుక then we can resolve some sort of computer crimes. Okay, and the next one is cyber crimes and an Indian perspective. See here, till now what we have done is the legal perspectives, and now we are going to discuss an Indian perspective. So according to Indian perspective, what they have done is they have taken 2 years, 2006 and 2007, 2006 and 2007, and they have calculated the statistics. See here, cases of various categories under ITA 2000 and cases of various categories under IPC section. So Indian perspective లో కన్సిడర్ చేసినప్పుడు 2006, 2007 అనే ఇయర్స్ అనేది తీసుకొని ITA 2000 యాక్ట్ కింద ఏ కేసెస్ జరిగినాయి, ఎన్ని కేసెస్ జరిగినాయి, అండ్ ఇన్ ది సేమ్ వే IPC సెక్షన్ కింద ఎన్ని కేసెస్ జరిగినాయి, ఆ కేసెస్ ఎలా డివైడ్ చేశారనేది we need to discuss in the Indian perspective. So here they are discussing about 2 years, 2006 and 2007. So automatically we can tell that if there are n cases in the year 2006, in 2007 that cases will be of n plus. Suppose 2006 లో 100 cases ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, ఆటోమేటిక్గా 2007 లో more than 100 cases ఉంటాయి, more than 100 cases. That is why India has the fourth highest number of internet users in the world. So why cybercrime is becoming a major problem in India is, in India there are in India is the fourth position where the internet users are available. When we consider the total world, India is in the fourth position where when they are calculating the number of internet users. See here, according to the statistics, 45 million internet users are available in India. So India lo 45 million internet users unnaru kabatti it is being rated as the fourth highest number, right? See, and one more thing is India is called as the youth country. Why? Because according to the according to the age distribution, based upon the age distribution, India is called as the what we call as a youth country. So since India is called as the youth country, there are 45 million of internet users, which leads to fourth highest number of internet users in the world, right? World మొత్తం మీద ఇండియా అనేది fourth highest number of internet users use చేస్తున్నారని చెప్తున్నాం. And next, if you look into here, the population of educated youth is high in India. So can anyone of you tell me that since the population of India, the population of educated youth is high in India అంటున్నాం. So education, youth లో education ఎక్కువ ఉండి కూడా, then still why we are facing the problem of cyber security? Means the educated youth is not using the computer technology in a proper way. some countries are not having the education where they don't know how to tackle with a computer or how to tackle with a mobile devices in order to in order to protect the information. But whereas India is using internet, and where it is placed the fourth rank in the world, and most of the population and most of the youth are educated. Inni unna koda, why still this problem of cyber security is main in the sense, why it is creating a panic in the sense, the educated youth are not using the computer technology in a proper way. If the educated youth has been using the technology in a proper way, then this panic situation will not be available. See here, it is reported that compared to the year 2006, cybercrime under the Information Technology Act recorded a whooping 50% increase in the year 2007. Suppose if in 2006 we are having 100 cases, in 2007 there is 50% of growth. That means 150 cases has been recorded. 115 cases has been recorded. That means year by year the number of cyber crimes has been increased. Not only in 2006 to 2007, in 2007 to 2008, or 2009 to 2010, or till date, the number of cyber crimes will automatically be increased. So according to the Indian statistic, it is divided into two categories, where the cyber crimes will be of two categories, as I said, two categories, right? So cyber crimes is divided into two categories, where the first category is under ITA 2000 Act, ITA 2000 Act, and the second one is under IPC section, under IPC section, and the third one is in within the cities, within the cities. These are the Indian statistics, right? See here in the first category, ITA 2000, ITA 2000. What we need to learn is what are the total number of cases available. See, in 2017 cases were registered under IT Act during the year 2007, as compared to 142 cases during the 2006. సో పైన ఏం చెప్తున్నాం, ఇక్కడ ఏం మాట్లాడాం అంటే 2006 టు 2007 నుంచి 50% ఆఫ్ ది కేసెస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినాయి అంటున్నాం. సో ఈ కేసెస్ని ఇక్కడ కేటగరైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఆ కేటగరైజేషన్లో సమ్ కేసెస్ కమ్ అండర్ ITA 2000, some cases come under IPC section, and some cases come under cyber crimes within the cities. So now we are discussing about ITA 2000 cases. ITA 2000 cases. See, ikkada 2007 లో 217 cases registered అయ్యాయంట. In 2007 there are 217 cases registered, and in 2006 there are 142 cases registered. There are 142 cases registered. See, 2006 142, 2007 2017. See here we can see gradually the increase from 2006 to 2007 is 52.8%. 52.8%. So if the 217 cases come under only ITA 2000 Act. ITA 2000 Act. See, among these 217 cases, 99 cases of total 217 cases registered under ITA were related to obscene publication, transmission in electronic form known as cyber pornography. That means in ITA 2000 Act, in 2007, 217 cases have been filed. ఆ 217 కేసెస్లో కూడా 99 కేసెస్ కమ్ అండర్ సైబర్ పోర్నోగ్రఫీ. 99 కేసెస్ కమ్ అండర్ సైబర్ పోర్నోగ్రఫీ, and 76 cases of hacking with the computer system, which is related to loss, damage of computer resource utility, right? So 99 cases out of 2017 comes under cyber pornography, and 76 cases out of 217 comes under hacking of the computer. Here hacking in this sense, the intention is to damage or lose the computer, utility. Okay, as already I have told you that India is said to be a youth country given the population age. However, from cybercrime perspective, the youth as an aspect does not seem good as revealed by the cybercrime statistics in India. So ఆలోచించండి, 2007లో 217 cases, 2006లో 142 cases. There is a gradual increase of 52.8%, right? So ఇలా ఇంక్రీజ్ అనేది ఉంటే ఈ యూత్ కంట్రీలో వేర్ there are many educated person, can the statistics of cyber crime will be good or not? we can automatically tell where India is having a youth with educated, and still the cyber cases have been increasing year by year and even day by day also. So with the statistics available here under ITA 2000, we can conclude that the cybercrime statistics according to ITA 2000 will be not as good as we require, right? And the second one is under IPC section. Here there are 339 cases. Here there are 339 cases in the year 2007 and 311 cases in the year 2006. సో ఇక్కడ కూడా చూడండి, ఐపీసీ సెక్షన్ కింద సైబర్ క్రైమ్స్ అనేది పెరుగుతున్నాయా తగ్గుతున్నాయా? ఆటోమేటికలీ దే ఆర్ గ్రాడ్యువల్లీ ఇంక్రీజింగ్. See here, 2007 లో 339, in 2006 only 311. So 339 minus 311, there are 28 cases of increase. 28 cases have been increased. So what comes under IPC section is forgery or criminal breach of trust or fraud. So ఈ రెండు categories IPC section కింద వస్తాయి. So these two categories fall under the IPC section, where the two categories are called forgery and the second one is called trust or fraud, criminal breach of trust or fraud. These two categories comes under IPC section, where cyber pornography and the hacking with the computer system comes under ITA 2000 Act, and forgery and criminal breach of trust or fraud will be coming under the IPC section, right? So మీరు ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ లో చూద్దాము అనుకున్నా, finally what we can conclude is year by year the statistics of cyber crimes is not at all good in India, where almost all the youth are being educated. And the last one is incidence of cyber crimes in the cities. Incidence of cybercrime in the cities. Here, 17 out of 35 cities did not report any case of cybercrime in neither the sections. That means under IT Act, under ITA 2000 Act, or under the IPC sections. In the year 2007, 17 out of 35 cities did not report any case of cybercrime. See, a total of 17 mega cities have reported 118 cases under IT Act, and 7 mega cities reported 180 cases under the IPC section. Clear all of you? So what they have what is the statistics within the cities means 17 out of 35 cities did not report any case of cybercrime. That means nearly 50% of the cities are not facing the cybercrimes at the time of 2007, not now, at the time of 2007. The cases may be either according to the ITA 2000 Act or in the IPC section. But the remaining cities, that means 17 cities did not report any case, and the remaining 17 cities are reported 118 cases under the ITA 2000 Act and 180 cases under the IPC section. Here, so this is the Indian statistics according to the this is the Indian statistics when compared to the cyber crimes, which is not at all good, where there are increase in number of cases year by year. So final ga మనం ఈ categories గురించి ఏం చెప్తాం? It may be either under ITA 2000 Act or under the IPC section, or when we are calculating and when we are comparing with the other cities. What we would like to tell is, even India is in the 4th place of using internet users, and the age of the population, when compared to the population. So population చూసుకొని ఆ ఏజ్ క్రైటీరియా బేస్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు, since India is a youth country, so internet users ఎక్కువ ఉన్నారు, యూత్ కంట్రీ అంటున్నాం, ఎడ్యుకేటెడ్ అంటున్నాం, బట్ ఇయర్ బై ఇయర్ అనేది ఇక్కడ కేసెస్ పెరుగుతున్నాయి. సో ఇండియన్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ అనేది నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ గుడ్ అని we would like to conclude this topic, right? So this is an Indian perspective. This is an Indian perspective. Clear all of you? And the third topic is cybercrime and the Indian ITA 2000 Act. See here, we are told that there is an IPC section and there is a ITA 2000 Act. So what does this topic reveal is, what are the sections and what are the chapters and what are the crimes and what are the punishments available in the ITA 2000 Act. Paina మనం ఏం డిస్కస్ చేసాం ఇండియన్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ లో, some cases will go to ITA 2000 Act and some other cases will be going to the IPC section, right? So in this topic, what we would like to include, what we'll be going to discuss is అసలు ఐటీఏ 2000 యాక్ట్లో ఏముంటాయి అంటే ఏ సెక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి, అది ఏ చాప్టర్లో ఉంటుంది, అది ఏ క్రైమ్ కింద వస్తుంది, ఆ క్రైమ్కి పనిష్మెంట్ ఏంటి. వీ నీడ్ టు లర్న్ ఆల్ దీస్ ఇన్ ది ఇండియన్ ఐటీఏ 2000 యాక్ట్. See, if you look into this table, if you look into this table, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here there are 7 sections. Here there are 7 sections. See here, section 43, 46, sorry, 66, 67, 68, 70, 72, 73 and 74. So ITA 2000 Act consists of 8 sections. 8 sections. See, all the sections will be available in the chapter 11. All the sections will be available in chapter 11. Chapter 11 lo section 43 matram comes under penalties and adjudication, and all the remaining other 7 sections comes under offences. Clear all of you? So ITA 2000 Act consists of 8 sections. 8 sections. So 8 sections ఏంటి అంటే 43, 66, 67, 68, 70, 72, 73 and 74. So these 8 sections comes under ITA 2000 Act. ఈ 8 sections 8 chapter లో ఉన్నాయి అంటే will be available in the 11th chapter. 11th chapter లో section 43 will be available in penalties and adjudication. Penalties and adjudication. And all the remaining 7 sections, all the remaining 7 sections will be available in offenses category. ఒక్క సెక్షన్ 43 మాత్రమే పెనాలిటీస్ అండ్ అడ్జుడిక్షన్ కేటగిరీలో ఉంటుంది. మిగతా 7 సెక్షన్స్ కూడా offenses అనే కేటగిరీలోనే ఉంటుంది. క్లియర్? సో నౌ we shall see what is section 43, what crime does it consist of, and what is the punishment that is being given. So here, look into section 43. Here the crime is damage to computer system, etc. Here the crime is damage to the computer system, etc. And the punishment is compensation for rupees of 1 crore. Compensation of rupees of 1 crore. See, according to ITA 2000 Act, section 43, which is available in chapter 11 under the title penalties and adjudication, the crime is damage to computer system and the punishment is compensation of rupees 1 crore. Right? Hope everyone of you understand. Are understanding this concept, this table. ఈ టేబుల్ ఏం రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తుంది అంటే ఐటీఏ 2000 యాక్ట్లో ఏమేమి సెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయని చెప్తుంది. ఇక్కడ కేటగరైజేషన్లో 8 సెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయని మాట్లాడు. సో ఐటీఏ 2000 యాక్ట్లో సెక్షన్ 43లో చాప్టర్ 11 టైటిల్ పెనాల్టీస్ అండ్ ఎడ్యుడిక్షన్లో ఉన్న క్రైమ్ ఏంటి అంటే డ్యామేజ్ టు కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్. డ్యామేజ్ టు computer system. For this crime, the punishment is compensation for rupees 1 crore. Compensation for rupees 1 crore. And the second one is section 66. Section 66. This is available in chapter 11 under the title called offenses. Right? Hope everyone of you are understanding. So, the total table ఎక్కడ నుంచి వస్తుంది? ITA 2000 Act లో నుంచి వస్తుంది. So, according to ITA 2000 Act under section 66, in chapter 11 under the title offenses, the crime is hacking. The crime is hacking, and the punishment which is giving for the crime hacking is fine of rupees 2 lakhs and imprisonment for 3 years. And imprisonment for 3 years. Right? So this is regarding section 66 and section 67. Section 67. Here, this is also available in chapter 11 offenses, where the crime is publication of obscene material in an electronic form. Obscene material in an electronic form. We can call as cyber pornography. Cyber pornography. Further, the punishment is fine of rupees 1 lakh and imprisonment of 5 years or double conviction on second offense. See, if it is the first time under 67 section, he will be punishing with fine of 1 lakh and imprisonment of 5 years. Suppose if it is the second offense, if he is going to repeat the same thing for the second time, then it will be double conviction for him as the punishment. Next is section 68. So according to Indian Act section 68, it is, which is available in chapter 11 under the title offenses, the crime is not complying with directions of controller. Not complying with directions of the controller. Suppose if you're not following the directions which is given by the controller. Controller means who is going to control, the person who is going to control the crime. వాళ్ళ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ కనుక మనం ఫాలో అవ్వకపోతే punishment will be fine up to rupees 2 lakhs and imprisonment of 3 years. Fine up to 2 lakhs and imprisonment of to 3 lakhs. This comes under section 68. And the next section is section 70. And the next section is section 70. So according to ITA 2000 Act, under section 70, in chapter 11, which is under the title offenses, the crime is attempting or securing access to computer of another person without his or her knowledge. Suppose if a person is going to access a computer of another person without his knowledge, then it comes under section 70. Further, the punishment will be up to 10 years of imprisonment. Up to 10 years of imprisonment. See, all these crimes and punishments are based in order to control the cyber crimes. And the next section is 72, which is under chapter 11 under the category offenses. The crime is attempting or securing access to computer for breaking confidentiality of the information of the computer. Suppose if anyone is attempting or securing access to computer where the confidentiality is being broken, then the punishment will be a fine of about rupees 1 lakh and imprisonment of 2 years. This comes under section 72. And section 73, which is available in chapter 11 under the category offenses, is publishing false digital signatures false in certain particulars. Suppose if a person is publishing false digital signature, then it comes under section 73, where the punishment is fine of 1 lakh and imprisonment of 2 years, or in some categories, if the crime has been extended to the higher level, then both can be done. Suppose a false digital signature use చేసినప్పుడు crime కనుక low level లో ఉంటే either 1 lakh or imprisonment of 2 years అంటున్నాం. Suppose if the crime will be reaching to the high level, then the punishment will be both, where you need to pay a fine of rupees 1 lakh and imprisonment of 2 years. And the last section is 74, where it will be available in chapter 11 under the topic offenses, where the crime is publishing of digital signature for fraudulent purposes. పైన పబ్లిషింగ్ ఫాల్స్ డిజిటల్ సిగ్నేచర్స్ అన్న అక్కడ పబ్లిష్ చేసినందుకు, ఇక్కడ పబ్లిష్ చేసిన ఫాల్స్ సిగ్నేచర్స్ ని fraudulent purpose, that means illegal ga digital signatures use cheste, then the punishment will be imprisonment for the term of 2 years and fine of rupees 1 lakh. So section 73 em cheptadi, false digital signatures ni publish చేసినందుకు and false in certain particulars, ఏదైనా కొన్ని particulars లో false జరిగినందుకు 73 చెప్తుంది. ఆ పబ్లిష్ చేసిన ఫాల్స్ డిజిటల్ సిగ్నేచర్స్ ని కొన్ని ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్టివిటీస్ కి యూజ్ చేస్తే కనుక అప్పుడు imprisonment of 2 years and fine of rupees 1 lakh. Clear? These are the 8 sections which are available under ITA 2000 Act. Once again, repeating the main concept. Under ITA 2000 Act, there are 8 sections available. The 8 sections are 43, 66, 67, 68, 70, 72, 73 and 74. So among these 8 sections, section 43 will be available in chapter 11 under the title penalties and adjudication. Okay, section 43 మాత్రమే chapter 11 penalties and adjudication title లో ఉంటుంది. మిగతా అన్ని కూడా chapter 11 offenses అనే title లో ఉంటుంది. offenses అనే title లో ఉంటుంది. Clear all of you? So according to the section, there is a crime divided, and according to the crime, punishment is been defined. That comes under ITA 2000 Act. Clear? So for this concept, you need to learn this table. Mainly the punishment will be of either imprisonment or of a fine. ఇంతకు మించి జరగట్లేదు. If you see in any of the 8 sections, ఇక్కడ punishments column లో చూస్తే అక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుంది? ఫైన్ అంటున్నారు లేదా ఇంప్రిజన్మెంట్ అంటున్నారు. There is nothing but a life fix for an hacker. Punishment law, there is nothing like life risk for an hacker. So what are the punishment available in the sense? Only fine, and the second one is imprisonment. Only these two punishments here. And the next topic is a global perspective of cybercrimes. A global perspective of cybercrimes. See, what does this topic reveal is, now we are going to discuss cybercrimes globally in a global perspective. Clear? So global perspective define చేసిన that means in the above what we have discussed is global perspective ITA 2000 Act and IPC సెక్షన్ కింద కొన్ని కేటగరైజ్ చేసి స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ ఏంటో తీసుకున్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే గ్లోబల్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో తీసుకుంటాం. సో ఇన్ ది గ్లోబల్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ హియర్ the wide definition, the definition of cybercrime overlaps in part with the like general offense categories that need not be information and communication technology. See, what I am telling you is this point. What I am telling you is this point right now. So here the status is from International Telecommunication Union. You need to learn what is ICT and what is ITU. ICT in the sense information and communication technology. ITU in the sense International Telecommunication Union. International Telecommunication Union. So here what they are doing is they have taken one year called 2006. They have taken a year called 2006 where here August 4 2006 announcement, in August 18 2006 announcement, and in 1997 to 2001. ఇక్కడ త్రీ కేటగిరీస్ లాగా తీసుకున్నారు. ఆ కేటగిరీస్ లో ఫస్ట్ కేటగిరీ ఏం చెప్తుంది అంటే August 4 2006 అనౌన్స్మెంట్ గురించి, అండ్ ఇన్ ది సెకండ్ కేటగిరీ కన్సిడర్స్ August 18 2006 category, and in the last one is Cybercrime Convention 1997 to 2001 category. So by here in every category, the main intention of these categories is different countries like either Australia or US. See, here we are talking globally, right? Here we are talking global perspective, not according to the Indian perspective. So here these announcements were made by different countries like US Senate or like Australia or like any other countries, where the aim of all these three categories comes under the reduction of the cybercrimes. Reduction of the cybercrimes. Some will be telling that we need to block websites where terrorists will be in action. అంటే టెర్రరిస్ట్ ఏ సైట్స్ అయితే అటాక్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారో ఆ సైట్స్ ని బ్లాక్ చేయాలని కొంతమంది చెప్తారు. ఇంకో కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ లైక్ యుఎస్ సెనెట్ ఏం చెప్తుంది అంటే we need to block the internet sites. We need to block the internet sites where the children are misusing them. Where the children are misusing them. సో ఎప్పుడైతే చిల్డ్రన్ అనేది ఇంటర్నెట్ ని మిస్యూజ్ చేయకుండా ఉంటున్నారో then we can control some sort of cyber crimes. కొంతమంది ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, ఎప్పుడైతే టెర్రరిస్ట్ అనే వాళ్ళు టెర్రరిజం యాక్షన్ అనేది జరుగుతుందో ఆ సైట్స్ బ్లాక్ చేస్తే we can protect some we can be protected from cyber crimes. That means according to different announcements in different criteria in different situations, what they are trying to tell is the main intention of all the announcements will be of same, but the ideology will be different. కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ ఏం చెప్తాయంటే suppose children who are using the internet for illegal use, if we block them we can control some sort of cyber crime. కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ ఏం చెప్తే suppose if we block the websites that are being attacked, అంటే ఏదైనా కొన్ని వెబ్సైట్స్ కనుక అటాక్ అయి ఉంటే, that means by using that particular website, if the hackers are gaining the information, if we block those websites then we can control the cyber crimes. Ilaga there are different announcements which is given by different countries according to the different situations. Okay, next, and the next one is cybercrime and the extended enterprise. Cybercrime and the extended enterprise. See, here there is a diagram available in front of you, where middle part is called core competencies. Those particular core competencies are divided into four types. First one is strategic alliances, and the second one is customer partnership. Third one is outsourcing, and the final one is virtual integration. And the final one is virtual integration. So look into the diagram once. Look into the diagram once. So why this extended enterprise? Extended in the sense we are already we are having some sort of implementation, and we are going to provide some extra thing for the enterprise in order to make sure our information will be secured such that it will not be attacked. So here, uh, what we need to discuss about two words is connectivity and mobility. Connectivity and mobility. Actually, it is the responsibility of each user to become aware of the threats as well as the opportunities. So, ఒక థ్రెట్ రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే అది ఎవరి రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ? It is the responsibility of the user who is using the internet in particular places. Suppose if a person is having a responsibility that he need to make use of the computer knowledge in a positive way, or he is going to use a mobile device such that it should not be hacked. అంటే హ్యాక్ అవ్వకుండా జాగ్రత్త పడినప్పుడు, లేదా మనకున్న కంప్యూటర్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఒక పాజిటివ్ వేలో యూజ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు, ఇలాంటి కనుక జాగ్రత్త పడితే, then there is no use of extended enterprise. Since we are lacking in those capabilities, there is a concept of extended enterprise, where the heart of the extended enterprise is core competencies, which is divided into four categories, as which you can see into the figure. Okay, and the extended enterprise can only be successful if all the component groups in the sense strategic alliances, computer partnership, outsourcing, virtual integration. Suppose if all these groups and the individuals available in them are effective, then only this particular enterprise will be successful. మనం ఏదో కొన్ని కేటగిరీస్ డివైడ్ చేసుకున్నంత మాత్రం సక్సెస్ఫుల్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ అయిపోతుందని చెప్పలేం. ఎప్పుడైతే ఆ కేటగిరీస్ ని ప్రతి ఒక్క ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో ఉన్న ఇండివిజువల్స్ కనుక ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా యూజ్ చేస్తే, then we can call it as a successful enterprise. For that successful enterprise only, we have been divided into four categories. Where the four categories are strategic alliances, computer partnership, outsourcing, and virtual integration. See here, the extended enterprise can only be successful if all the component groups and individuals have the information they need in order to do business effectively. Here, ఎప్పుడు మనం ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అంటున్నాం, ఆ పైన ఫోర్ కేటగిరీస్ ని ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో ఉన్న ఇండివిజువల్స్ కంటే ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా యూజ్ చేస్తే, then we can tell that the extended enterprise is successful. See, and also this particular extended enterprise is a loosely coupled self-organizing data offerings that combine their economic output to provide products and services which are offering to the market. Not only products and services, in some categories we can also call as decision making ability. సో ఎప్పుడైతే డెసిషన్ మేకింగ్ అబిలిటీ అనేది మనకి కరెక్ట్గా ఉంటుందో, then we can combine the output to provide the product and service offerings. See here, an extended enterprise is a loosely coupled self-organizing network of things that combine the economic output to provide the products and services. Here there is a concept called decision making ability. So for an external enterprise, in order to be successful, the decision making capability must also be made. Okay. Next, given the promises and challenges in the extended enterprise scenario, organizations in the internal community have a special role in sharing information on good practices and creating open and accessible enterprise information flow channels for exchange of ideas in a collaborative manner. So here we have discussed some promises, right? ఈ ప్రామిసెస్ అనేది ఎప్పుడైతే ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఇండివిజువల్స్ అనేది స్ట్రిక్ట్ గా ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా ఫాలో అవుతారో, అప్పుడు ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజెస్ అనేది సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అంటున్నాం. ఈ కొన్ని కేటగిరీస్ కాకుండా there should be decision making capability also. So ఇవన్నీ గుడ్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ చేసుకొని, and if we are going to create a channel where that particular channel is being used for exchanging of ideas in a collaborative manner, then we can tell that the extended enterprise is more successful. Why? Because one organization may get one idea and the other organization may get another idea. Suppose if we provide a channel where every organization will meet there and where they can exchange their ideas, then it will be they are exchanging ideas. సో మనం ఒకరే చేసుకుంటే ఏమవుతుంది, ఒక ఐడియానే వస్తుంది. సపోజ్ ఒక 4-5 మెంబర్స్ కూర్చున్నాం అనుకోండి, ఒక 5 ఐడియాస్ వస్తాయి. అలాగా వెన్ వి క్రియేట్ ఎ ఛానల్ వేర్ ఆల్ ది ఆర్గనైజర్స్ విల్ బి వేర్ ఆల్ ది ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ విల్ బి పార్టిసిపేటింగ్ ఇన్ ఇట్ అండ్ దెన్ దే ఆర్ ఎక్స్చేంజింగ్ ది ఐడియాస్. సో ఐడియాస్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ది ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ విల్ బి ఇన్ ఏ కొలాబరేటివ్ మేనర్. The external enterprise will be in a collaborative manner. See, even if a one person got one idea and if he is going to implement effectively, we can tell that the external enterprise is successful. But collaborative ga successful avali ante collaborative means by mixing, by combining. We are combining in the sense combining of organizations in a single channel, where the information will be flowing. Information will be flowing means they are exchanging the ideas. ఐడియాస్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇంకా ఐడియాస్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇంకా ఈ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ అనేది సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా రీచ్ అవుతుందని చెప్తాం. విల్ బి మోర్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్, రైట్? అండ్ ది లాస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ ఈజ్ సైబర్ క్రైమ్ ఎరా సర్వైవల్ మంత్ర ఫర్ ది నెటిజన్స్. Here you need to remember 5 P's. See here, 5 P. Where the 5 P's are precaution, prevention, protection, preservation, and perseverance. If you remember all these 5 words, these are the survival mantra for the netizens. These are the survival mantra for the netizens. Clear all of you? So this is going to be the end of the first unit. See, the main important topics which you need to learn in the first unit, as we discussed earlier in the first class, are: first one is definition. You need to know the definition of cyber security first. Since the subject is cyber security, you need to learn the definition of cyber security. And the second one is you need to learn the definition of cyber crime. Why? Because the first unit all of totally deals with the cyber crime. So first one is cyber security definition నేర్చుకోవాలి. Second one, cyber crime definition నేర్చుకోవాలి. After these two definitions, there are 7 definitions which I already told you. Very important according to the internal or external purpose. So after the 2 definitions, you are going to learn 7 more definitions. After the completion of 9 definitions, you need to compulsorily learn these 3 topics. So cybercrime and information security. Botnet and ఒక diagram discuss చేసాం. ఆ టాపిక్ నేర్చుకోవాలి. Next one, who are called as cyber criminals and what are the different types of cyber criminals. Different types అంటే ఏం చెప్పాం? Type 1, Type 2, Type 3. కొంతమంది పేరు కోసం చేస్తారు, కొంతమంది పేరు రాకుండా జాగ్రత్త పడతారు అని కొన్ని కేటగిరీస్ డివైడ్ చేసాం. Those are called the cyber criminals. Those are called the types of cyber criminals. Type 1, Type 2 and Type 3. Okay. Next one is classification of cyber crimes. Here we have discussed about 27 topics nearly. So classification of cyber crimes is divided into 5 categories, and each category is having some subcategories. Our subcategories into nearly 27 subcategories. The important question of this particular unit is classification of cyber crimes. These 3 topics need to be learned by you mandatorily. And these 4 concepts, you need to have a basic idea. Legal perspectives అంటే ఏంటి, ఇండియన్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఈ కేసెస్ ఉన్నాయి లైక్ ITA 2000 యాక్ట్ కేసెస్ అండ్ IPC సెక్షన్ కేసెస్. సో ITA 2000లో ఏమేమి సెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే we have discussed about the tabular form. And the next one is global perspective on cyber crimes, where global perspective means different organizations, different countries will be providing their different ideas in order to make the cyber crime less effective. And the last one is survival mantra for netizens, where the survival mantra includes 5 P's. First one is precaution, prevention, protection, preservation, and the last one is perseverance. These 5 P's are used for the survival mantra of the netizens, right? So this is going to be the end of the first unit. If you are having any doubts in any topic, or if you are having any confusion in any topic, you can call me personally, or we can discuss in tomorrow's class, right? If there are no confusions, if there are no problems, then we shall start unit 3 in tomorrow's morning class. Okay. Thank you all of you.